the only pub that they have there. And it was Robbie's birthday, so
Yeah.
we went out there to celebrate and try Guinness and stuff. But the bartenders were really, really nice. But I was like, look at that Irish thing, it's staring at me. Because clearly it is staring at you, like its eyes are, and he's like, later in the night you're gonna be telling me that they're all staring at you, and like there's a whole, like, I don't know, I thought it was really funny.
Do you remember the bartender's name? It's like,
I don't know.
Fenton or something.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
But also, here at Harry's we met an IRA
Okay.
member, which was kind of cool, and we met the biggest water bottle distributor in Ireland, and he like creeped on one of our friends. And they have a table that is a well.
It's an old well. It's an old well, and they put like a tabletop on top of it that you can see through, and it's still got water and stuff in it, so you can like look down and see fish and all kinds of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, one of our friends, she came over and she's like, "There's a fish in the well," and we thought she was saying WHALE. And it was really cool.
You kind of have to be there.
Yeah.
Sorry, a lot of these stories are.
Yeah. This is just another one of the beach at Sunset at Ross.
I just really loved it. So there's a lot of pictures of it. I'm sorry.
And then this is at Drumcliff Churchyard, where William Butler Yeats is buried. And then in the background of this is built right in the shadow, I guess, of Ben Bolden, and that's that mountain right there. And it's famous because Yeats wrote a poem about it called Under Ben Bolden. So once again, I didn't know that because I was not big into literature before that, but it's cool. We actually climbed Ben Bolden.
Sheep everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, this was awesome.
This was just a little side trip. Our bus driver knew about this place called Mullaghmore Island, Ireland, and he just kind of one day we were driving and he took us out there, and so he was like, "All right, get out and you can just kind of walk around." And it was comparable to Ross's Point, beautiful. It was all these rocks they're just like, I guess what you would call, I guess they're sedimentary rocks. They're just really flat rocks that are just they've been pushed up out of the ocean at a slant. And so they just go right down to the water, so you can walk right down to the water, and then there's all these little rocks that jut out of the water everywhere, and then there's mountains in the background and islands and all kinds of stuff. Never sailboats. It was just one of those picturesque moments.
This is what we were climbing.
And this is
remember we don't
breaking the law.
signs very well.
So this is another little side trip. Like we said, we really kind of fell in love with our bus driver, Con. He pulled up. We were driving through the mountains and stuff. We drove around the back of Ben Bolden, which is what we're about to climb up here. And he just parks outside of this gate. And outside of the gate, it's one of those like typical no trespassing, blah, blah, blah signs. And so he's like, "All right, are y'all ready to climb it?" And we were like, "What?" And so he hops out, we hop the fence, and we start walking up this. It was a big sheep farm on the side of this mountain. And so we ended up climbing all the way to the top of the back of Ben Bolden. And this was the view from the kind of the middle to the top. And it was looking out, I don't remember what city that is, I guess Sligo.
I think it's the
Mullaghmore? Okay. Yeah, it was really cool though, because, I mean, we climbed a mountain in Ireland.
What's really cool about it is like, there's a sign that says no trespassing, and so we get up to this other sign that says no trespassing, like midway through the climb. But we're exhausted at this point, and so we're like, how can we keep going? And our bus driver, who's like 60, and he's just like running up this mountain, and every single one of us are like,
And apparently once we got to the top, he told us the story about how when he was a kid, he would always go up there, and so it's kind of just like.
It was like the only place to escape.
Yeah, it was kind of like his little special place, which was really cool because he took us there.
By the way, those rows of trees you see down there in the, I guess what you call it, valley, those are tree farms. All of Ireland's primeval forests were pretty much cut down by the English when they were building their ships for their armada. So, a little piece of history there.
I think this is where.
Puleys!
After we kind of went through the countryside of Ireland, we went to Dublin. That was kind of where we ended up in Ireland before we went over to Great Britain. But in the top corner there was Kayleen Kyle. They call that the tart with the cart. It was Molly Malone, and the other one is it's like a mermaid statue out in the ocean, and they call her the Clusie. And I know, we just thought it was funny. Bewley's Cafe was on Grafton Street, which is like their
the tea company. You see they're
they
selling
have
that tea over here in the C-store.
Right, and it was pretty great. It was really beautiful, and it was like 3 stories high, and I mean, it had stained glass windows and everything, which was pretty pretty. I don't know what that is. That one
I
of
think
the Dublin
this,
doors?
yeah, well, okay, they were in the Dublin doors, and we saw a lot of them. We just stumbled upon this when we were walking the streets, and I was like, this is the coolest Dublin door I could ever imagine. I just really like that place. So.
And the Dublin doors are like famous because back in when Queen Victoria was ruling and Ireland was still under England, when Prince Albert died, she told everybody to be in mourning and be dark and everything, and they were protesting, so they all painted their doors really bright colors in order to be all, we're not going to mourn, we don't want to be under English rule, and so all of the doors are still pretty much really colorful, like greens and blues, and yeah, that's one of them.
That's James Joyce.
That's just that's James Joyce, okay, and
Apparently he's only got one line.
Well,
he's standing like this.
There was someone sitting on it, so I was like, I don't want you, stranger. So I someone took it from there.
Yeah, that's on Grafton Street, isn't it?
No, it's like a side street.
That was right where.
Oh, this is.
And I don't remember the name of this
That's
river.
the River
River
Liffey.
Liffey, yeah, I was thinking, yeah. River Liffey, and it kind of cuts up through the middle of Dublin, and
I think the brewery's not far from this location.
no, I think it's like, it's on River Liffey back in the down.
Yeah. Fun fact
The
about
Guinness
Dublin,
Brewery.
I almost died
Like
there.
3 times.
Their buses stop for nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody. And
I don't think she
Big
could walk
yellow ones
across
over
the
there
street
stop for
whenever.
nobody.
And so our friend Ashley kept saying that.
like literally, like bus coming, Ashley, arms around my waist, pull me back, almost died. Like.
3 times.
Oh yeah, this is Trinity College, which is it's pretty famous. They have the Book of Kells at their library, and we did a tour of it. And we saw the Book of Kells, and I guess it's just a picture.
That's just a random.
Just a random cool
That
thing.
that piece of art, it's a replica of the one that sits in the middle of the Vatican, which was gifted around 2000. I think the inner part of it is supposed to represent the fact that Vatican is a sovereign nation within a larger nation.
I
So-
just thought it looked.
So did you go?
It was pretty
Did you go in the Trinity College Library to see the Book of Kells? Were you in?
Yes.
So
They have it-
did it look like the Clinton Library? Because the interior, where all the archives are and all the displays are supposed to be reminiscent of Trinity College
I don't remember what it looks like.
when
Well,
Clinton,
the Book
because
of
Clinton
Kells,
was there.
Like, it's hidden under a. I mean, like there's a huge thing.
There's
It's like a
there's
special
the
room.
library, and then they have their own special room that you have to go off to see the Book of Kells. And they actually have a complicated security system where if anybody even tries to do anything with the glass case that it's in, the whole table that it's on will immediately submerge under the ground, and steel doors will come up over it.
And Trinity has this really, really beautiful library called the Long Room, but
Oh,
I mean, I couldn't take photos of it, obviously.
Yeah, they won't let you.
They won't let you, but like, we have
They had
postcards of it.
a Sherlock Holmes display, like at that time, because I guess they were kind of building up to the movie and stuff.
You really don't appreciate how difficult it was to copy books back, a long time ago before we had print, when they just had to do it by hand and they did it on vellum. They show you the entire process at that museum in Trinity College, and it's a very long, drawn-out process.
This is a picture of really the pillars, the main thing of it. But the pillar has bullet holes in it, and Yeats wrote a poem, Easter 1916, about this kind of massacre that happened.
It was this is the post office of Dublin.
Yeah, right.
And from the post office steps in 1916, that's where the Irish rebels declared their independence from England.
Yeah, and then they shot him.
And so then they all got massacred.
Yeah,
and those are the bullet holes that were put there that day from the outside.